So I had this question about going into midwifery young and what to do if you look kind of young. And I get the question because when I went into midwifery, I was 18 or 19, I forget, I think 18. I was 4'11", still am 4'11", really round-faced, and a lot of the time I think other members of staff or students thought I looked like a child in scrubs. My sister's the same. She also works clinically, and I think we do just look really young. And it's annoying to get accused of being really young on placement. And what I'd say the main thing is, if you're cool with it and you have a little bit of a sense of humour about it, people are okay about it. And some people are quite abrupt. That is a reflection on them, not you. We have to have people training from a young age, because otherwise we wouldn't get the super experienced midwives out there, right? You have the capacity to be the most experienced midwife in the world. Like, there's no other way of getting people with a 50-year span of experience in the NHS other than getting people to start at age 18 or 19. So we have to have people like you, and so it's very cool that you are starting out. And I think in terms of practical tips for going into somebody's room, if you think actually this person is a bit freaked out that I'm young, or much more likely is that you're winding yourself up about it, or I don't know if this is just me, but sometimes I think when I put that kind of energy out there, I attract that kind of thing, like the self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know if I did this so much about being young, just because two of my major role models in life, one teacher and my sister, are really short and young looking, so I'm not sure I particularly egged people on in thinking I was young. But just a practical piece of advice: when I picked up that energy in the room, I used to have a piece of information about that client immediately. So something like, oh hi, my name is Ellie, I'm looking after you today, I'm totally all yours. That quote is from Beanish Nazmeen, by the way, who is a fantastic midwife from the South Asian Association of South Asian Midwives. I'm all yours. Great way of starting a conversation with a client on labour ward. So I would go in and say something like, yeah, your iron is 112. That's quite alright, because the cut-off for iron is 110, so you have a reasonable iron count. I'm really glad about that. And yeah, just let them know you have the information, you're going to give them really good care. I mean, that's the ultimate thing, right? If you can give good care, nobody really minds about the young thing. And maybe you won't be able to have that piece of information initially on placement, but after a couple of days you're going to know things, you're going to be helpful. So I think that's how I handled it. But just to clarify, the NHS runs on goodwill in many ways, and students being able to provide care, especially when you don't get paid anymore and you actually pay to be there. I mean, it's just a reflection on people being idiots if they're giving you any kind of a hard time for being young. We really need you there. We'd be dead on our arses if it wasn't for students holding it together. And then also I wanted to mention, on some podcast at some point I've come across this idea that you have access to different knowledge at different ages, and I absolutely think this holds true. So my granny, in a letter that I inherited after she died, wrote something like, there are compensations to any age, if only we could have them all at once. And I think there are things that age 18 that I no longer have access to at 34. So I don't want to say that I just spent all that time talking about midwives in their 70s being really awesome, and I think that's true, and I think your capacity to pick up lots of things at that age is amazing, but being older is no guarantee of wisdom, right? We all know people in that age category who we wouldn't necessarily put in the wise category, but like, the age you are now, you're going to have stuff that's actually very useful, and we need to be querying how we're treating teenage parents and things if there's this atmosphere of, oh, they're too young to do their job. And just keep coming back to being an adult. You would be surprised what a polite, true, appropriate little challenge can do at times. And it's just knowing that mostly this is going to be totally fine as well. I have cards from women who'd had babies before, even in my first year, just like being there, paying attention, treating people as a human being, having a manner that shows you really care about them. Women and birthing people will tell you pretty much everything you need to know about this profession, and they can tell when you're paying attention. So look them in the eye, listen to what they're saying, and that's pretty much the most important bits. As long as you're doing that, I don't think age matters very much.